Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to today's Sohbet on this, the 13th of January, which also happens to be the 13th of Rajab. 13th of Rajab is an interesting date, of course, because this is, by a lot of people, reported to be the date on which Imam Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, was born. And there are many Muslims who celebrate various events on this day as a result of that. However, this week I'm going to be answering a question that I've been asked because, and in various ways, a number of people have asked me this question because it's been coming up a lot in the news in the UK and international news again about the grooming gangs scandal. This has been a real problem in the UK over a number of years. Groups of men have been abusing and kidnapping and, well, effectively, yeah, kidnapping and grooming girls into really awful crimes. Girls who've been repeatedly raped and abused. And it's horrific when we look at what has been done to these girls, and you wonder, what sentence on the statute books could possibly be sufficient for the crimes that they have committed. And there's no getting away from that. But this has recently come up in the news again, and the fact that a significant portion of those who have been convicted of this heinous crime have been Muslims. Naturally, people are going to ask questions. Naturally, people are going to ask questions. Now, of course, if we actually did a nationwide investigation into child abuse, child rape, and grooming in a general sense across the whole country, we'll probably find that it isn't quite as limited to a particular group from particular ethnic and cultural heritage. There's other information out there that shows just how prevalent similar crimes have been within other elements of the community who are not from South Asia. But irrespective, the popular narrative is causing people to ask this question: how should Muslims treat non-Muslims? Is this from Islam? Is this treatment, this horrific treatment of young girls, from Islam? What does Islam actually say about this? Well, since it is Imam Ali's birthday, I was having a look in a book that I have, The Voice of Human Justice. It's a translation of an Arabic book, Sautu'l Adala, Insaniyah, by Georges Jordac, who was a Lebanese Christian. So he wasn't Muslim. But he did a very comprehensive, in Arabic, it's a 5-volume biography of Imam Ali. And given all of this discussion about grooming gangs and terrorism and other things where I'm not going to pretend, that the people who were involved, had Arabic names and were claiming to be Muslims. I'm not going to get away from that. That's reality. That's on record. But were they just bad actors? Or do they represent something systematically at the heart of Islam, which teaches us to treat people of other faiths and ethnic backgrounds in such terrible ways. Of course, the other interesting thing about these grooming gangs is, although a lot of the victims were from, white, English, and other white backgrounds, they weren't all. Some of them are actually Asian. So, once somebody is an abuser and they abuse young girls, they have that kind of mentality. They don't distinguish. No girl is going to be safe from a predator like that. Similarly with terrorism, someone plants a bomb somewhere or runs a car into a crowd. They don't just kill people who have other faiths or other ethnic backgrounds. They kill people of their own ethnic background. They kill people of their own or the faith that they profess to believe in. A bomb doesn't discriminate. An aeroplane crashing into a building does not discriminate. But in this biography of Imam Ali, I read this. What has been stated above makes it abundantly clear that just as man possesses many other rights, he has, according to the laws enunciated by Ali, this right that he should be free in the matter of his beliefs, and there should be no restriction on holding any belief if he likes. Freedom cannot be divided. It is not possible that man should be free in some respect and captive in some other respect. A Muslim is the brother of a Christian, whether he likes it or not, because a man is the brother of a man, whether he admits it or not. If in the eyes of Ali, the main object of creating man as a free being had not been this, that he should have made efforts to acquire virtues, and if according to him freedom had not been a sacred right, he would not have praised the followers of Jesus in the same manner in which he praised the followers of Muhammad. In the foregoing pages, we have mentioned that the Christian stole the coat of mail of Ali and claimed that he had purchased it. We have also mentioned how Ali behaved with the Christian as a person equal to himself, rather than in the manner in which a father behaves with his son. We have also stated how Ali lodged the complaint in the court of the judge Shurey, and that its outcome was, and how the Christian became one of his sincere disciples and vehemently helped him. The history of Arabia is proud of the following sentence of Ali, which adorns its pages. If a carpet is spread for me and I sit on it, I shall decide the cases of the Jews according to their book, the Torah, the Christians according to their book, the Evangel, the Gospel, and of the Muslims according to their Quran, in such a way that every one of these books will cry out, Ali has spoken the truth. Ali instructed Maqal, son of Qais, as under, O Maqal, fear God. Do not be unjust to the Muslims and do not oppress the dhimmi. Do not be proud and do not be selfish, because God does not like the proud, selfish people. It shows that according to Ali, fear of God means that a person should not oppress his fellow beings and is not in any way unjust to them. Furthermore, he places the Muslims and the non-Muslims at the same level and does not accord preference to any one of them. This equality of the Muslims and the non-Muslims can be observed in each and every order of Ali. It would appear that he considered the protection of the people from injustice to be more important and necessary than acquiring other Islamic virtues. You hear that? It would appear that he considered the protection of the people from injustice to be more important and necessary than acquiring other Islamic virtues. In other words, that is the primary thing, according to Ali, that he was focusing on, that he was treating everybody fairly and justly, not making differences between Muslims and people of other faiths. He, that's Imam Ali, severely reprimanded the Muslims when Sufyan, son of al-Asadi, a commander of Muawiyah's army, invaded the city of Anbar and committed atrocities on its residents. But they, the Muslims, did not side with the truth and did nothing to prevent oppression. In the course of his speech, he said, "I have received information that a member of this group used to enter the houses of Muslims and Zimmi women and removed the anklets from their feet and the bangles from their hands, as well as the necklace and earrings which they were wearing. And they had no means of protection except that they should say, 'We are from God and we have to return to him,' and remain patient. Now, if a Muslim dies of sorrow on account of these tragedies, he cannot be blamed for it. In my opinion, it ought to be so." Now, here, he highlights the abuse of women under one of the Muslim armies. Imam Ali, now who was Imam Ali? Imam Ali was called Mullah by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was called the gate of knowledge by the Prophet, peace be upon him. Imam Ali, within Sunni Islam, is the fourth caliph of Islam. He's one of the righteous caliphs. According to Shia Islam, he was the first of their imams. According to almost all of the Sufi tariqas, he was the first one in their silsila after the Prophet Muhammad. They all went through Imam Ali, except for the Naqshbandis, which actually even the Naqshbandi has an alternate chain that goes through Imam Ali, as well as the one that goes through Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. When you look at Islamic scholarship, they all reference Imam Ali. So universally within Islam, no one after the Prophet Muhammad is so respected as Imam Ali. Whether you're Sunni or whether you're Shia, makes no difference. Anyone who says that they're Sunni and they're saying anything negative about Imam Ali or disagreeing with this point, they do not understand their Sunni Islam, or they are following some cult or something else. Imam Ali is beyond disrepute within Islam. His repute and his respect is so high. And this is what Imam Ali did and what he said. And one of the things he was highlighting was the abuse of women. Having, when he says that this commander had removed the bracelets and anklets and necklaces of the women, both Muslims and people of other faiths. In those days, that was how many women stored their wealth and carried their wealth. There was no bank accounts. So you are literally stealing the wealth that those women are depending upon, and leaving them with nothing. It really is a serious crime. And Imam Ali highlighted that. He didn't ignore it because this man was a commander in his army. He didn't ignore it because some of the women that the commander had done this to weren't Muslims. No, as it says here, Ali censured and rebuked those people because they had failed to defend not just the people who did it, he rebuked the Muslims who stood by and allowed it to happen. Ali censored and rebuked those people because they failed to defend their brothers and sisters living in the city, whether they were Muslims or dhimmi, against oppression. When he appointed Muhammad, son of Abu Bakr, as governor of Egypt, he instructed him thus: I commend to you to be equitable to the dhimmi, to do justice to an oppressed person, to be severe upon the oppressor, and to be indulgent towards people as far as possible, and to be kind to them. It is also necessary that in the matter of truth, the far and near should be equal in your eyes. The following sentence also appeared in the pact, which he concluded with the Christians of Najran. They will not be subjected to injustice and oppression, nor will any of their rights be reduced. They have equality, in other words, with the Muslims. He also fixed the same blood money for a Christian, which is the blood money for a Muslim. In other words, in those days, they had a system whereby if someone was killed, you'd have to give blood money or compensation on the case of the murder. Or, sometimes it may have been not necessarily murder. It could be what we now call manslaughter. But either way, you had to pay blood money to the family. It was compensation. And he made it the same amount for the Christian as for the Muslim, not different. According to Ali, every human being was entitled to respect. It was for this reason that although the ignorant and brainless followers of all past religions were extremely fanatical and hated other religions, Ali was loved very much for his justice by the knowledgeable Christians during his own time as well as afterwards. All of them lauded and praised him. Allama ibn Abi al-Hadid writes thus in Shahnaj al-Balagha: what shall I say about that man, Ali, whom the dhimmi loved ardently, although they did not acknowledge the prophethood of Muhammad? Ali had laid the very foundation of his treatment of the non-Muslims on this principle. Their property is like our property, and their lives are like our lives. The facts narrated above show clearly that religious fanaticism was considered by Ali to be something very indecent and despicable. The freedom which he believed in a wide sense and measured with extended measure, was totally opposed to fanaticism. And not just fanaticism, but also mistreatment and crimes against people who may have differed in their faith. So there you have it. I mean, it's absolutely clear as day. How Muslims should treat non-Muslims is the same as they would like to be treated themselves. No different. Treat everybody equally and fairly. We're all human beings. If someone is not your brother or sister in faith, they are your brother or sister in humanity. If someone is not your brother and sister in their ethnicity, they are still your brother and sister in humanity. We're all members of one human family. We are all the children of Adam and Eve. May Allah guide and bless us all, and may such heinous crimes as have recently been discussed come to an end and never be repeated. May Allah bless you all, may Allah guide you all, may Allah keep you and your families safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May the peace and blessings of God be with you all.